ever see me on Oprah or Gail crying? I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No.
Love Men in Black. Everyone was wondering why I didn't do those interviews. Well, it was really smart because he's like, I'm not playing no victim. He hit it. I trimmed it a bit. He really hit it. You will never see Chris Rock crying on Gayle King talking about getting slapped by Will Smith.
It's never gonna happen. No. I took that hit like Pacquiao, motherfucker.
He did.
And people are, well, you guys are fighting all the time. We're not fighting. First of all, I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me.
Like, he is. Way bigger. You could tell in actually the photo, but everyone just assumes they were fighting, and it was somehow a fair fight.
We are not the same size. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part?
No.
He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City.
Now, he's been testing that joke a lot. That one was going, we knew that joke was coming, but he delivered it strong, even in the finale here as he went live. There had to be a lot of pressure on performing this live, and I'll get you to more of that, my review, because he messed up one and I cut it out, but here.
But Will Smith practices selective outrage.
Now, this was the theme of the whole show, and I do encourage you watch the whole show. He goes into what selective outrage is. Now, he did make a joke about Michael Jackson that I didn't like. He's not the same as R. Kelly, because R. Kelly was actually convicted of a crime, but I digress. But the rest of the special was really well done. He really goes there. It's offensive at times, but he just talks about how people are always mad at the things that they're mad at, but then ignore it if they like something and they're doing the same thing, well, then they're okay with it. And he goes in a ton on Meghan Markle regarding this and more. But I want to play what he's going into because it all teed in. This was the finale, the end of his stand-up bit. He goes into Will Smith practices selective outrage. And I knew, oh, it's about to go down.
Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that. I didn't have any entanglements. And then for people that don't know, and everybody knows, his wife was her son's friend. Okay.
He was effing. I got it. Sorry I had to believe it. He was, this is true. We've reported on it. Jada Pinkett Smith was effing his son's friend. Jaden's friend, August.
Okay. Now, I normally would not talk about this shit. But for some reason, these put that shit on the internet.
They put it all over the internet. Red Table Talk is like a weekly installment of them talking about it and talking about it with their kids. It's maddening what Jada keeps putting out online, and you know Will doesn't like it. We did a whole video on it. Go watch this one again. Will wanted her to put that phone down, and he refused. So Chris is going to lay into her.
I have no idea why two talented people would do something that low down. What the f***? Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television.
It's so weird. It's so weird. It's so smart because these are facts. This isn't even like he's being salacious here. This is stuff they've put out into the world themselves.
It's like, hey, I was sucking somebody else's. How did that make you feel? Why the f*** would you do that?
I don't know. Why would you do it? Why they kept doing it? She does it all the time.
She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay? By the way, he does that. Everybody in the world called him a bitch. Everybody called that man a
B. I gotta say, bitch.
Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and The View, and The Talk, and every rapper, and the Drink Champs called him a bitch. Everybody called him a bitch. They called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch.
Now the audience knows what he's doing. It's sort of like he's calling him one through everybody else who was calling him one, is calling his wife a predator. Man, he's leveled into them.
Everybody. And who's he hit? Me.
I mean, that is a beautiful tee up, and it is true. Like, why did you take your outrage on Chris Rock? This made no sense.
He know he could beat. That is some bitch ass. What the fuck?
He's been holding that in, you can tell.
Nothing to this mother. Okay.
Now, here's where things, I got one more minute or so left. and you can just tell he's been holding this in. He is ready to unload, and they're live. And at one point in this montage, he messed up. I trimmed it for him, but he would typically, I'm sure, fix that in the edit of stand-up specials that he puts out. But he gets a little flustered at one because you can just tell this is probably a relief to get all this out.
Okay, but years ago, his wife said I should quit the Oscars. I shouldn't host because Will didn't get nominated for concussion. What the f? So then I do some jokes about her. Who gives a f? That's how it is. She starts it, I finish it, okay? That's what the f happened. Nobody's picking on this bitch. She started the Nobody was picking on her.
That was the one point where I'm like, man, he really went after her. Nobody cares about this B.
Nobody was picking on her. She said, me, a grown-ass man, should quit his job because her husband didn't get nominated for concussion. And then this gives me a concussion, okay? What the f? I love Will Smith my whole life. I love this. He made some great movies. I have rooted for Will Smith my whole life. I root for this mother.
We all, sorry, I got to interrupt because it's, my God, sorry, we hear a commentary. Watch Uninterrupted over on Netflix. And you should watch it. This is an advertisement. Go check it out. We were all rooting for him. That moment was such a bummer, and we do aim our eyes at Jada. Why did you get so bothered by that G.I. Jane joke? And he never mentions G.I. Jane, by the way.
Okay? And now, I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped. Got me rooting for Massa, okay? Hit him again, Massa! Hit him again!
Jeez.
A lot of people go, Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back? How come you didn't do nothing back that night? Because I got parents. That's why. Because I was raised. And you know what my parents taught me? Don't fight in front of white people.
That was it. That was it. Then he stepped off stage and he saved it for the end. Don't fight in front of white people. Yeah, it got Will in trouble. It got Will in trouble. Look, I think this was a really, really good set from Chris Rock. The whole show is great.